In this video we'll be learning about first of all intervals. We'll be just focusing how to write down the answers in the interval form. So when we deal with inequalities, we may get answers of the form, for example, say 2 less than x less than 5. We can get answers of the type 2 less than equal to x less than 5, or 2 less than x less than equal to 5, 2 less than equal to x less than equal to 5. There are some possibilities of the answers of the inequality. In these cases, we see some more possibilities are the inequalities could be of the type, say, x greater than 2, or x greater than or equal to 2, x less than 7, x less than or equal to 7, x less than 1, or x greater than, say, 9. So there are some possibilities of the answers, and the corresponding interval form for this is. What does this mean? This means on the real number line. So all the numbers 2 to 5, we are saying that these are where x belongs to set of real numbers. Say 2 here, 5 here, 2 is not included. So from all the numbers from 2 to 5 are going to be marked like this. So when I mark like this, it means it involves 2.1, 2.111, 2.3, 4, 4.9, 4.999, 4.99, all the numbers which lie between 2 and 5. And in this case 2 is not included. How do we show it? So if this is 2 is not included, we put a hollow circle over here, and 5 is not included in this, and we put hollow circle over here. This represents diagrammatically this situation. All the values lying between 2 and 5, and 2 and 5 are not considered. All the numbers between 2 and 5, and 2 is not considered, as well as 5 is not considered. For this part, if I draw the diagram, so this is, say, 2, 5. So all the numbers lying between 2 to 5 is same, but additionally 2 is also included in this. Then how do we represent this? This is 2 is included. So we put a dark circle, I would say, and all the numbers from 2 to 5, and 5 is not to be considered. So hollow circle for this. And for this one, the diagrammatic representation could be 2, 5, all numbers between 2 and 5. 2 is not to be included, 5 is to be included. So I put dark circle over here. For 2, this is hollow circle. In this case, same, I have taken same numbers in every case. This is 2, 5, all numbers between 2 and 5. 2 is to be taken, so hollow circle. In place of hollow circle, we have dark circle. 5 is also to be taken. We put a dark circle for this. This will be how we are going to representing this in the diagrammatic form. As far as this is concerned, if I say real number line, say we have got only 1.2 over here. If I say this is 2 over here, all the numbers which are greater than 2. So we start from here. 2 is not to be taken. First of all, I'll put a hollow circle for that. Numbers greater than 2. 2, 2.9, 3, 4, 5, so on. It keeps on going without any end. So we put an arrow over here like this. So the process keep on going. Similarly, as far as this is concerned, this is, I get 2. This says 2 numbers which are greater than 2, but 2 is also included. So 2 is included, and the numbers greater than 2. Similarly, for 7 and minus 7, the arrow will be drawn on this side. Say 7 here. So x less than 7. 7 is not to be taken. So hollow circle over here. and all the numbers less than this are going to be considered. And as far as x less than or equal to 7 is concerned, so go for it. Very easy, simple concepts. 7 is to be included, dark circle, and all the numbers less than this. If I represent this on the real number line, for this part, this is 1, say here, and 9 here, all the numbers which are less than 1. So 1 is not taken, less than 1, arrow is this side, and on the same line, we leave the numbers between 1 and 9, and as we arrive at 9, so 9 is not to be taken, but the numbers greater than 9 are to be considered, an arrow for that. The respective diagrammatic representation of this. So what I was coming to, the interval form. Now how do we write? This is one and the same thing, again, just a different way of representation. Another way of representation is the interval form, which I'm going to write over here. As far as this is concerned, how do we write? We just put these numbers with comma separated, the 2, 5. For this also 2 and 5, 2, 5. This 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5. Over here we'll see how to go for this. First let's focus on these 4. So of course we know that now these 4 are different situations, but if I write in this pattern, the distinction is not made. Then how is the distinction is to be made? So 2 is not included in this case. How do we show it? In the interval form, we put a round bracket or parenthesis, and 5 is not to be considered. That is exhibited by putting a parenthesis, a round bracket. So this is the interval. This is called open interval 2 to 5. Open interval 2 to 5. It means 2 is not considered, 5 is not considered, but all the numbers between 2 and 5 are considered. All are taken care of. This is concerned for this is less than or equal to. This is less than. So 2 is also to be taken and 5 is not to be taken. And how do we show that? If this is to be taken, so we put a square bracket over here. 5 is not to be taken as answer, so we put a round bracket over here. So this is open interval. This is I would say semi-open or semi-closed interval. And the same lines, this can be written 2 is not to be taken, 5 is to be taken. 2 is not to be taken, round bracket, 5 is to be taken. This is square bracket. In this case 2 and 5 both are to be taken. If it is to be taken, then square bracket. 5 is to be considered, then square bracket. So this is called open interval. This is called closed interval. These are semi-open or semi-closed intervals. I may say this is open interval, or just to dictate, this is closed open, or this is open closed, and this is simply closed interval. Now let's write this one down. As we can see that in this case, numbers 2 beyond 2 are here, greater than 2 are, then process keeps on going. How do we show it? So we put 2 and numbers greater than 2, and the process never ends. In order to show that, this is represented by a symbol like this. This symbol stands for infinity, we can say. So, but this just shows the process that it is never ending process. We keep on going to get numbers which are greater than 2, and this process never ends. Now how do we put this? As far as this is concerned, for this also, number 2 to infinity, less than 7. Less than 7, once we go to this side, the number keeps on decreasing, and we go to the negative numbers and they keep on decreasing without any end. And in order to show that, we say from left to right, so minus infinity to 7. So minus infinity, comma 7 over here also on the same lines. Just the difference is, in one case we are not to consider 7, in the second case we have to consider 7. So this is minus infinity to 7. Now let's put the brackets, respective round or square bracket. How do we do this? So infinity, it is not a number. This is just represents the behavior that this is a never-ending process. So we always put round bracket over here. So over here we'll put round bracket, minus infinity, we'll put round bracket. We cannot have infinity, right? Because this is not a number. This just represents the behavior. Okay, 2. So So we put a round bracket because it is not to be considered. Over here 2 is to be considered, so square bracket. 7 not to be considered, open bracket. 7 is to be considered, so square bracket. So this is how we write the respective answers for this in the interval form. As far as this is concerned, if you see, it involves two inequalities. How we may write this one? So first I'll write this. So if you go from here, this is minus infinity to 1, then 9 to infinity. So minus infinity to 1, minus infinity comma 1, and for this is 9 to infinity. Infinity, at infinity we always put round bracket, parenthesis, at 1 because it is not to be considered in this case we put round bracket, 9 is not to be considered, we put round bracket, and once this is done for this or we put a symbol union. These are certain situations in which we'll be using interval form. So I think this explains, these few examples, it explains most of the situations which we may be facing. And another could be if I have to just say that is not a case of inequality, but I would say equality. Say if I have to say just this, x is equal to 2. So says 2 is here and it is to be considered no other value. So there is only one point as answer. So how we can write this one as, so this is to be written as curly brackets 2. This is a set containing 2. This set, this answer contains only one number 2, and this is exhibited in this fashion. Suppose if I take a particular diagrammatic representation on which the numbers like -1, say, then 3 is the answer, and then 5 is the answer. Only limited number of answers. There are 3 answers, -1, 3 and 5. How can we write this in this format? So this is -1, then 3, and then 5. No other number is the answer. We just put them in the curly brackets. So this is a set containing -1, 3, 5. So this is all about intervals, basic intuitive ideas, how to write, just to understand the different forms of the same situation. One form, another form, and the diagrammatic representation. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Keep learning.